the balance of risk statement, the forward guidance, the language, how important is that on Thursday?
It's pretty important, as is this reference to, potentially being able to cut rates. We know they can cut rates further. They don't believe there are at the effective lower bounds, but we know, given the, recovery broadening out, that they're likely to take that reference away, in our view. But the risks around the recovery are now more balanced than they were even a month or so ago. So I think they will reference that.
David, if we had a real conversation and we turned off the mics, most people would come into this room and they'd say we don't ever expect them to cut rates anyway from here. So why is removing the language and agreeing with what most people think significant?
Well, I think it shows potential direction of travel that they could, cut rates further. They do have that potential. Let's assume we had a very, economic data flow really did disappoint, and they felt that they, had to do something on the back of that. Well, they could cut rates further. They don't believe at the moment that it's impacting the banking sector to such a sufficient degree that banks are, having major problems. So, it is an important signalling device. I think they'll still want to make that clear that they could, in theory, cut rates, but they're not going to.
David, market management mode, it's always tough for central banks, and is that where the ECB are at now? They're in market management mode in a big way.
Well, the problem for them is they do still remain the only game in town, and although the recovery is broadening out, it's still early days. Inflation on the core measure is still printing below 1%. You still have redomination risk out there in the markets because we have potentially an Italian election coming through, as we were warning, late September, early October. And you've got some Italian bond yields still, 200 basis points over Germany. So, for them, it's going to be very difficult, and particularly going through September, October, they've got to communicate tapering to the market in a way that we don't have spreads widening out from where they are now.